Okay, this is the other part of my morning routine. This is the part where I grab the chicken feed, go out to the yard, and as I go out to the yard, I have a little smile because I feel happy about the things that I'm doing. So as I go, I set the camera up right outside the chicken coop so that you can see how I put the chicken feed on the side of the coop inside of their run with a top on it. But today I won't let them out immediately because I need to collect some fertilizer because my wife wants to transplant some Brussels sprouts. So I grab that water, go over to my rain barrels. I have two of them there. And as I'm filling up the rain barrel, I'm cleaning out the bottom of the water. It's getting really dirty, especially in the summertime with algae and the chickens can get in the dirt and things all inside of it. So I want to make sure I give them some clean water. So that's a pumpkin plant that's right there by the rain barrels. So I'll go back, put the water on top of the roof because I need to grab some fertilizer. So again, like I said, my wife wants to transplant, that caught my gate there, wants to plant some Brussels sprouts to put in a different place, and she wants fertilizer to help them grow. So I have my rake, my shovel, and my air pump because I need to use that wheelbarrow that's upside down on top of wood chips. The tire goes flat every now and then. I thought I heard some noise, that's why I came over by the camera. And I'm putting air in it so that I can be able to use the wheelbarrow. I don't know if you've ever tried to use a wheelbarrow that had a flat tire, but it is really hard to move once you got it filled up. Alright, so I filled up the wheelbarrow. I'm going to take it over by the chicken coop so I can gather some of the fertilizer that's inside the chicken coop. So I will turn the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. Check it with the rake, and it's not very loose, so I use the shovel to get it up. Now I would show you the whole thing, but I had a little wardrobe malfunction, so I had to so you can see the fertilizers put up inside of the wheelbarrow, and then I had to take the rake and kind of smooth out the rest of the coop so it can make it nice for the chickens when they come out. And I had to straighten up a board that I have in there so that the water can sit kind of flat and level. Because when it's crooked, it just leaks out and the chickens don't get a chance to drink any of the water. So as I straighten it out, put everything back, I put the water in, and I'm about to open up the coop, and then you'll see the introduction of my two girls come out. There's one, there's two, and there they are. Get a little drink while I go over and take this fertilizer over to the garden. Now initially I turned my camera, I thought I had it right here so you can see me open up, but it wasn't correct. But I still took the fertilizer over to the garden, and when I realized I don't have the camera in the proper angle, I come back and turn it so you get a better angle and see what it is that I'm doing. That fencing I had to put up around the garden. I used to let my chickens, I had 4 of them, unfortunately I lost 2 of them, that's why I have 2 left. The chickens will go inside the garden and eat up everything, so that's why the fence is around the garden. I will also hoping to turn some groundhogs. Now I went and got a contractor bag, some tools, some garden tools, and my gloves. I'm currently putting my gloves on before I open up the contractor bag so that I could put the fertilizer inside the bag, just in case my wife wanted to use other parts, some of the fertilizer for other plants and not all of it just for transplanting the Brussels sprouts. So here I'm taking my hand and scooping the fertilizer into the bag as it sits on the ground. And as I'm doing this, of course, I'm noticing there's a lot of worms. It smells really bad. I'm almost glad that my wife is not out here because she might have really had a real problem with the smell. And you heard some neighbors pass by complaining about the smell of the fertilizer as I was scooping it into the bag. But again, it's even though it smells bad, it's really good for the plants. The plants really like it. They grow really tall from it. But it is a very useful food for the plants. So I took a tool, I put some holes in it. After I put some holes in it, I dragged it across the garden and unfortunately did not notice that I had damaged one of the plants. I believe it was one of my wife's squash plants. I set it there so she could use it to make a transplant. You'll see that we're about to pull the wheelbarrow out and notice that the plant was damaged. So I'm going to attempt to fix it, try to stand it up. Didn't like it broke, it just fell over. But I didn't probably, so I left it alone. I figured, okay, we could take care of it later. So then of course I grab the wheelbarrow, so I put the wheelbarrow back, the tools back, and finish the rest of my morning routine. So I took the tools, grabbed all the tools, took them to the garage, came back out and grabbed the wheelbarrow and put the wheelbarrow back on top of the wood chips where it was before I put the tire up. I grabbed my camera. I went and walked to the front of the house and go grab my watering can because I have some plants I also have on the front of the house that need to be watered as well. So I got this 2-gallon watering can, come back, and again you can see my rain barrels. I got 2 of them. That's the main one. As you can see, the downspout dumps into that rain barrel. I have a screen on the top of it so mosquitoes don't go inside of it. And I use this water that I'm getting out of it not only to feed my garden and to water my plants on the porch, but I also feed it to the chickens as well, if you've seen earlier. So I'm taking the watering can to the front of the house. I'm walking up on the porch. I set the camera up as I go and water the tomatoes that are in a pot that's on the porch itself. And then I have some herbs that I'm watering now. And then there's 3 topsy-turvies I water in there. They tend to suffer sometimes because the sun heats up the roots inside of them. So they're watered from the top down. Then the plant grows from the bottom and around to the top, or to the side of the topsy-turvy. There are 3 of them, 2 tomato plants and 1 strawberry. Then there's a ball there that my wife had created that has eggplant and string bean inside of it that's growing. The string bean didn't do well, but the eggplants are still growing. So as the water started to come, and you can see I put the watering can back to catch that water. So I head back to the yard, look at the sun to see where the sun is located because I'm about to sit down and start sun gazing. As I sit down and start sun gazing, I pull my phone out and try to time how long it is that I'm staring at the sun. And as you can see, it's not very bright because the clouds are currently covering the sun, but there's enough coming through that I could be able to start sun gazing. As I'm doing so, my wife's going to come out. See, the sun is coming out now, so that's what makes it, as you can see, it's getting brighter. My wife comes out, we get some coffee. Sometimes I pause it, and then I start it again when the clouds move out the way. And then, of course, we sit and have a conversation. And then my wife, after we've done our coffee, she begins her part going around doing what she has to do with the fertilizer. Now, after she's done the conversation, my wife decided to take the camera to start taking some footage of the garden. So there's the garden here, where we have our zucchini, that's the chocolate mint, lemon balm, there's thyme, there's some chives, there's a tomato plant going out the side of a barrel. With the zucchini, there's some watermelon cucumber going on the bottom, there's some cucumber there. You see some of our tomato plants, more cucumber plants, some corn. Those are some squash plants that are growing across. There's also some onion growing in as well. Snap pea, there's some bean plants, more squash plants. These are our pepper plants here. They seem to have been struggling before, but they're starting to do well. Over in the corner, you'll see some Swiss chard, some more cucumbers, some celery. Here is our asparagus. Asparagus is doing really well. That's collard greens over there. There's more squash plants. Those are tomato plants. There's Roma and beefsteak. Some more squash plants. That's kale. We got some more broccoli. There's broccoli plants. More kale over there. That's more of the collard greens. There's some more tomato plants. And that's the end of our video. Thank you for watching.